Hi there, this is Jen, also known as Plannerfield. Today I'm going to be creating a spread in my Archer and Olive journal using the Planners Anonymous Butterfly Skies kit. I'm using this planner as a nature journal where I'm designing nature-inspired spreads and adding quotes about nature. And here's an example of some of my recent spreads for the month of January. And today I'm going to be starting February. So here is the first week of February. And this is the paper I selected. This is just so gorgeous. And I cut one of the pieces up. I fussy cut all the edges to isolate out these leaves that I'm going to be using. And that's my inspiration for the colors. So for the background, I'm going to be creating a watercolor wash. So the first thing I want to do is find a color that I think would go good with these leaves. And I'm just using one of these Archer and Olive notepads to test out my colors. So I'm just playing with my paints. This is an Altenew watercolor palette. And I've got some white here in my my disposable palette here. I've got some white paint, and I'm just adding some white paint and some water and just mixing the colors to see if I can get a teal color, because I decided I want to use like a teal background to coordinate with these leaves. So I'm just taking my time playing around till I get a color that I like. Mixing up the colors good. I'm using a 1-inch brush. And I'm happy with that, so I think I'm going to get started on that. And I'm just going to go through and paint the boxes for each day of the week here. And I'm not worried about staying in the lines or being neat. I'm just, just having fun with it. I just want it to look natural and organic and kind of messy and painterly. Can't really do this a wrong way. Just a real quick little light wash with lots of texture. And then to add some more texture, I'm going to put some speckles in the background. So I've got some white paint here, and I just put some paper behind my pages to protect my work surface so I don't get paint all over everything. And I'm just adding some white speckles and then some teal speckles, and I'm just layering them back and forth, just tapping the paintbrush with my hand, just having fun with it. Now I'm going to dry it with the air dryer here, and I'm just blotting away some of the excess water and just muting the splatters a little bit. And I'm just making sure my page is thoroughly dry. And now I'm going to add some more background texture, and I'm using these Planners Anonymous rubber stamps that come with the kit. And here again, I'm going to swatch out my colors. I've got some Distress ink pads. I've got a few different colors, and I'm just testing this over my test pad here to see what looks good. I don't want anything too dark because I am going to be journaling on top of this background, so I just want this to be kind of subtle. It doesn't have to be like a perfect print or anything like that. So, and I'm just adding the colors to my media mat so I can mix them, so I can get them just right. I always like to mix my colors. Hardly ever use anything straight from the tube And so I'm just going through and just randomly applying this. I'm just kind of creating a light background. And again, it doesn't matter if the impression is perfect. Kind of looks better actually if it's a little imperfect for the effect that I'm going for here. So I'm happy with that. Just going to clean up my hands and clean up my work surface here so I don't get ink all over the place. Clean my stamp so that it's ready to use again. And okay. So now we're ready to apply the leaves. And I usually like to start with the large pieces that I know I want to cover that note section to the right. So I'm just going to apply this with some art glitter glue and just trying to not get the glue too close to the edge to avoid it, seeping out the edges if I can, and using my tweezers to help hold it so I don't get glue all over my hands. And I trim off these pieces because I always keep all these leftover pieces because you'll never know when those come in handy. And I'm just playing around, decided to trim one of these down because it was a little too big, because I do want lots of room for journaling. And I just like to play around with it. And once I decide I've got something I like, I just go for it, don't think too much about it. And there you go. So now I've decided I want to do a little bit more. Just go back and forth, playing with all my pieces. They're all so beautiful, I want to use them all, but like I said, I do want room for journaling. So. And I think I want one more. I like to have kind of like one piece coming off of each edge of the paper. I like that effect. So I'm trying to figure out how I could have something down here in the lower right. Then I've got this little half a leaf here left over, and I figured that should go somewhere. So that's perfect right up there in the corner. And yeah, no, I think that's good. I'm happy with the way that looks. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of these Archer and Olive acrylograph paint pens, and I'm going to add a border around all my text boxes. And this is a technique I've been using a lot lately. I can't seem to stop doing it. It's like a faux sewing kind of a technique where I make marks around the outside of my boxes so that it kind of looks like they're sewn or stitched onto the page. And I did white first, and now I'm going through with a purple to match the purple leaves. And when you see this up close, it kind of looks like stitch marks. And this is just something that I just really enjoy doing, so I'm just taking the time to do this. I like the little added extras like this. And I'm just going here and there and filling in some of the purple lines to be a little darker in some spots. Okay. And now I'm going to add some washi tape. This this Planners Anonymous washi that comes with this kit is so gorgeous. It's these butterflies that have like a holograph foil, and they're individual, so you can rip them apart and you make stickers out of them. So I'm just tearing them with my hands and then just kind of ripping the edges so that they blend more into the paper, so that they really disappear once I use my bone folder to burnish the edges. They just disappear right onto the page. And like I said, they're just gorgeous. They're all different butterflies and flying in different positions. I just absolutely love this washi. It's some of my favorite ever. And I can't resist adding one more here. And now I'm just going to trim off the corners, anything that's hanging over the edge. And that's it. So thank you for joining me. I hope you've liked seeing this tutorial, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.